Hello, my name is Mike Levie and I'm a graduate student at Southern Utah University, and today I would like to talk about something we've been studying in our accounting ethics class. This study comes from the book called Managing Business Ethics, written by Linda Trevino and Catherine Nelson. They talk about 7 steps, they suggest 7 steps that we should take when it comes time to blow the whistle. And also an article by Joseph Badaracco about being a quiet leader and a quiet hero. And I would like to use a real-life situation to kind of go through it and show how it works in the real world. So the situation we're going to talk about is it's a situation or an experience that James Alderson had. He was a small-town accountant in a hospital in Montana, who was asked to create some false reports and turn them into the government for reimbursement by upper management. He refused to do so and was subsequently fired for not going along with their fraudulent behavior. And he followed some steps to blow the whistle. He ended up having to blow the whistle in this case because they were doing something wrong and they didn't listen to him when he told them no. So I put some facts of the case here on my PowerPoint so you can see some more detailed facts, but let's jump into our evaluation here of the 7 steps that Trevino and Nelson suggest we take to blow the whistle effectively and to get the job done. So the first thing they suggest is approaching your immediate supervisor. In this scenario, Mr. Alderson was approached by his supervisor and asked to do something that he wasn't comfortable with, and so he stood up to his supervisor and told him, no, I'm not going to do it, and thought that the issue was put to bed because he wasn't asked again to do it. However, he was fired. So the next step says that they suggest is to discuss the issue with your family, which Mr. Alderson did. He discussed it with his wife and kids, and because blowing the whistle, going after this company was going to affect them. It was going to affect his time and potentially his employment at other places. So he discussed it with his family, and they were supportive of him, although they thought it was kind of a long shot. His wife thought it was crazy to try it. She did support him, and his son also, it says in this article, it mentioned that his son actually gave him a pen that was engraved with the family's motto to help encourage him. The next step suggests that we take it to the next level. He did take it to the next level, and in fact, Mr. Alderson took it to court. He took it and filed a lawsuit on behalf of the government to go after the hospital and the corporation that owned the hospital. The next step says to contact the company's ethics officer. It doesn't appear in this case that the company had an ethics officer, so we jump into the next step, which says consider going outside your chain of command. Mr. Alderson went outside his chain of command and went and talked to a former administrator at the hospital, and even though he wasn't an administrator at the time when Mr. Alderson approached him, he was an administrator when Mr. Alderson was there. So he went outside his chain of command to get more information from him. The next step says to go outside the company, which he did. He went to the law, he went to the courts and did research and presented his case with the help of some attorneys that he hired and some other experts. The last step says if it comes down to it, you have to leave the company. Now, he wasn't given that option because he was let go and terminated from his employment, but from his attitude we can tell that he would have, I think, left the company before he committed any fraudulent behavior. So I think he followed the steps pretty well in blowing the whistle. So that's the 7 steps from the text from Trevino and Nelson. The next thing we want to talk about is there are 4 basic rules that Badaracco, in his article, We Don't Need Another Hero, that he discusses when having to blow the whistle. We'll just go through these quickly. He says to put things off till tomorrow. Now, Mr. Alderson, after he got fired, didn't go running right back into the office, to the hospital, screaming and yelling and demanding justice. He took his time, gathered facts, and presented a good case. The next one says his next bit of advice is to pick your battles. Mr. Alderson did pick his battle, and his battle was the battle he chose was to take it through the courts and to use a team of attorneys and experts, which was a good move by him. The next bit of advice he says is bend the rules, don't break them. I don't really know in this situation if that bit of advice was needed or used here. And the last one says to find a compromise. And there really wasn't a compromise in this situation that he made. He went after him for the fraud. He had been terminated, so really a compromise with the company wasn't going to happen. But he did stick with it. I think that in conclusion, what we can learn from Mr. Alderson is it doesn't matter who you are or what your position is in the company. If you see fraud out there and it's not right, that you can stand up to the corporation, no matter how big they are and how much money they have to hire lawyers. You can get the job done and do what's right and have moral courage, and it can have a positive outcome. And I think Mr. Alderson was a great example to all of us.